Hey everybody, J-Man here. Let's talk about Duke issue number 2. I'm going to review this using my space system: story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best that you can get in any category. If you've been following along, we've got the new Skybound stuff. Transformers is 10 out of 10. Every issue has been 10 out of 10. The Larry Hama G.I. Joe, a real American hero, which doesn't have anything to do with these comics, it's on its own. That has been stellar. I know I gave issue 2 slightly lesser. I think I gave it maybe a 6 or 7 or something like that. But I've gone back and I love those first 3. Well, not first 3, 301, 302, 303. To me, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and the Spawn titles are just killing it. Like this is a great time for those properties. Each comic is great. Cobra Commander was kind of cool. I did like that issue, so you can check that video out. Duke, no, I didn't like issue 1 that much. I wasn't a major fan of this one either, unfortunately. So for the storyline, I'm gonna have to give it a 0.5. I don't like this story at all. Duke's on the run. He's seen Starscream. No one believes him. I hate when it's Joe versus Joe or something like that. And I'm not saying G.I. Joe does this. I'm saying that anytime they do this, whether it's like any team, it's like nobody believes Raphael. Nobody believes Egon Spengler, right? Like nobody believes Duke. Nobody's believing, I don't know, pick anybody, like, Green Arrow or something, right? And you're just like, why is that happening? Like Duke's a solid guy. Hawk doesn't believe him, or he knows and he's covering it up or something. So the story is Duke goes to get help. I think it's Clutch that he goes to, and then they're attacked by Rock and Roll and I think Breaker. And I'm just like, why is this happening? Like, what is, and then again, it's really revolving around the Transformers. And when you start merging these, I know everyone's really excited about merging these properties. I don't like it because Transformers is clearly on top. So if you have G.I. like, is G.I. Joe fighting Cobra or is G.I. Joe fighting the Decepticons? And why do the Decepticons care about Cobra? And why would Cobra want them? Like, I don't think Cobra wants to share the world or whatever. Like, is Serpentor going to be like, oh yeah, let's share it with this Megatron character, like, or Cobra Commander or whoever is in charge? Like, it's just nonsense. Like, I don't like that at all. To me, they need to be kept separate. G.I. Joe versus Cobra, that's it. It's like let's bring the Thundercats. It's like, oh, okay, well, is the Thundercats gonna, like, is Lion-O going to be teaming up with Hawk? Like, what is, I don't like it. I know it's a big thing and people, this might be a super hot take. It's just, that's the way I feel. So I'll give the pacing a 1.5. It actually was fast paced. There was some action here where they're trying to attack and everything. It's really just the story that's killing it for me. Not killing it, that's not doing well. There's some car chases, some little fights here, but again, it's Joe versus Joe, and I don't like that at all. I want to see Cobra versus G.I. Joe. But pacing, I'll give it 1.5. The art, I'm going to give it a 1. Like, the art's okay. It's fine. I like the art. It's okay. I don't think it's as good as a Real American Hero art. So my space system is comparing comics to themselves, right? So this is a G.I. Joe comic, so I'm not comparing this to Spawn. I'm not comparing it to Superman or whatever. I'm comparing it to G.I. Joe comics. It's a G.I. Joe comic. You have your expectations for G.I. Joe. I don't think it's meeting them, at least not my expectations. But art that I do like is beardedshirts.com. That's my channel sponsor. They do these amazing print all over shirts. Here's Dazzler. Cover of Dazzler issue 1. It's a 2-sider, continues on the back. Some of their shirts actually continue the printing on the back, so it wraps around. They also have regular shirts like this where it's just all of the Legionnaires. So you don't have, if you're not a print all over guy, then you can grab one of these. But if you decide to become a Legionnaire, if you become a member of the channel, we do give out either a gift certificate or a shirt of your choice from beardedshirts.com. If not, check them out. They got a sale going on right now. All right. The characters, yeah, I'll give it a 1. The problem is, I like Duke in this because he's right and we know he's right. I don't like the other guys because they're being a-holes. They don't believe him, so that sucks. Yeah, I don't know. And I guess Clutch is okay. For enjoyment, I'll give it a 1. Like, it's okay, I guess. I don't want to beat this comic up really because I think people are liking it. It's just, I can't get into it this way. Especially when you're putting it versus the Larry Hama one, which is just like super cool right now. So I'm going to give this a grand total of 5 out of 10. If you get a 5 or a 6 out of 10, it's sort of a pass. It's like, yeah, it's okay. You know, like a 5 is nothing to be ashamed of, but really you need to do better. You need to give us, or at least give me, what I consider to be G.I. Joe, which is I want to see G.I. Joe, you know, well, like Duke being awesome and going out and kicking ass. Like this, him getting beat up and all that, and then he's getting beat up by his friends. Like, why couldn't it just been Duke is on a and if he, and listen, obviously I'm in the minority for the merged, you know, Hasbro universe. I'm super in the minority on that one. I get it. That's fine. So okay, have Duke as a team. Maybe because it's a Duke comic, it's not a G.I. Joe comic, it's a Duke comic. So if it's a Duke comic, let Duke lead a bunch of new guys. Right, they're these green recruits. They don't know anything. They're idiots or whatever. He's got to whip them up. He's got to whip them up into shape and get them out there and get going. You know, why doesn't it something like that then? Like have him do that and like, you know, maybe lead a team on special mission or something, and maybe they discover the Transformer there, or like, I guess if you're continuing from Transformers, there was Starscream. So maybe Hawk's like, okay, look, Duke, we're not sure about this robot that you saw. Why don't you take, you know, you're supposed to be training these new, I'm making this up right now. You're supposed to be training these new recruits that we just got for the Joe team, and stop investigating this Starscream or this robot thing. And then Duke goes back, he's like, listen guys, I know I'm supposed to be training you, but I'm gonna have to go on a mission solo because there's this machine out there. I gotta go get some proof, you know, to believe me or whatever. And then maybe Hawk's like, okay, why don't you take this team? Look, I know you're not going to let this go. You're a good guy. Why don't you take the team with you, like on-field training or something? I don't know. Like, there's no point them being against each other. I just don't like that. But anyways, that's it for the review. If you like my space system, like the video, share it, and subscribe. That's it, everybody. Until next time.